The Special Investigating Unit says it's revealed what it says is a disturbing pattern of systemic corruption within South Africa's immigration framework. Officials, external actors and syndicates have exploited weaknesses to sell documents, forge documents and manipulate the system for personal gain. From fabricated visas for high-profile figures such as Prophet Shepherd Bushiri to illicit permits traded on a black market, the investigation exposes a network that the SIU says severely compromises national security and public trust. 4 officials from the Home Affairs Department allegedly received at least 16 million rand from selling permits. Ziniko Mhlaba joins us now with more from this briefing. Ziniko, good afternoon to you. This is incredible. These are incredible findings from the SIU.
Very incredible indeed, Stephen, especially if you look at the amount of money that has exchanged hands. But most importantly, if you look at the amount of money gained from these fraudulent proceedings involving Home Affairs officials, just to give you maybe an estimate, those people who have actually compromised the officials of the Home Affairs Department have made a fortune of over 180 million rand after getting those documents unlawfully. But also, if you look at the amount of money that has been made by the officials themselves, or by collaborating with these individuals who have been reaching out to them to access these documents, they've made over 16 million rands, and those are the figures that were shared by the Special Investigative Unit as they really tabled their interim report that has been really zooming into the systematic issues within the Home Affairs Department. So I'm going to bring in the spokesperson of this SIU, Mr. Kaiser Khanyago, just to also give us the aspect of the faith-based leaders who have been identified as key figures who have really been very active in this case. And he's joining me now. Dr. Khanyago, thank you very much, sir, for your time. I'd like to explain to the viewers in summary the involvement of these faith-based leaders in these particular syndicate, especially how they transfer money from the church income or earnings, if I put it that way, into their own benefit, and how they've used the Home Affairs officials to ensure that this happens actually effectively.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the viewers. What happened there is it was a clear syndicate. From the word go, when they came into the country, some of them came in here as visitors, but they ended up having to apply for permanent residence. There are 3 things that they did, the modus operandi. One, they would do what we call a marriage fraud, where they would marry a South African and then later divorce and then get this documentation and then marry a person from their own hometown. And then that is the first part. Then the second part was the retirement part, where they would then pretend like they have applied for a retirement visa, and then when they are not retired, because there was no prescript that was clear on the age that was involved. And then the third one, where we need, because one of the things that Home Affairs needs is whether you are financially stable before you get permanent residence. Therefore, they would then use the accounts or the bank accounts of the church as if it is theirs, because they were working with the people from Home Affairs. And some of these people there were even church members in their churches who would then just sign off all of these things and make sure that they are given the permanent residence and ultimately get more and more money from the South Africans.
I mean, if you look at the amounts that have been made here and the sophistication of this process, one would think that we're talking about very senior Home Affairs officials with access to technology and some of these very important documents, but you were talking about low-ranked officials. I mean, how did you, what was behind the idea, and how prevalent is that issue at that low level? And what has been the response from Home Affairs regarding their systems at that basic level?
No, we found that because most of the systems at the Home Affairs were manual. Therefore, the officials at lower level, as far low as level 8 in government, were the ones that were in charge, because they would create these things and also approve them at that level, and therefore they get paid. And they got little monies, like some of them 500 rands, 3,000 rand. But there are so many that they ended up making about 16 million of the money. And this is not the end of the investigation. We are already at 16 million that was taken by officials. And therefore, the people that they were helping amassed over 181 million rand in monies that they could make out of these fraudulent things. Therefore, people need to understand, and this thing, these actions do not only affect Home Affairs, it affects other people, including, among others, education, transport, and our health system suffer because of all of these people that they've brought in the country fraudulently. They didn't care about that as long as they made money and bought properties.
Mr. Khanyago, thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That's, Stephen, that's Mr. Kaiser Khanyago there, who speaks for the SIU, just giving us a sense of how actually prevalent this issue is at the basic level when it comes to the different levels of government in terms of their categories and ranks. What is also shocking, Stephen, is also how some very controversial faith leaders or acclaimed self-leaders such as Mr. Bushiri and Mr. Umatos have also been benefiting, have also been exploiting the very same weaknesses of the very same Department of Home Affairs. But as Mr. Khanyago has just said, that this is not the end of this investigation. You remember, they're looking at, at the period between 2004 up until 2024. So you can imagine the amount of work that still needs to be done, and what is it that we're likely going to, be informed about once the actual investigation is completed. So that's the latest from us here in Pretoria. It's back to you in studio, Stephen.
Ziniko Mhlaba, thank you very much indeed for that update.